Just ask the taxi drivers. San Francisco is a city known for historical sites, groundbreaking transit, and change. The tech industry has brought on incredible innovation. You could also call it disruption, or even destruction. And that is especially true when it comes to taxis. Uber changed everything for taxis. And now self-driving taxis like these from Waymo could change everything for Uber. San Francisco is one of just a few places on Earth where anyone can ride all three. So I'm putting them head to head to see which one is best. In this ultra scientific matchup, I'm gonna compare the cost, travel time, comfort, and intangibles, which I will define a bit later, because now I've gotta find a taxi. I'm at Dolores Park. I'm gonna start at 20th and Church, which I chose for a very specific reason. Subscribers might be able to guess. I'm gonna use this app to call a taxi. Time starts when I hit request, which is now. While I wait, one interesting thing I noticed is that the taxi range of price is actually quite a bit lower than Waymo or Uber or even Lyft. I am a bit concerned about how long this is gonna take to get here. I don't have any idea, so better head up to my pickup point. Time stops when I get to the Flipboard. It has been 10 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. The app says they've got my booking, but so far, that's all I know. I'm gonna go sit over there. It has been 20 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm not giving up on taxis just yet. I'm gonna cancel this and try something else. I have used this app successfully before, so I don't really know what's going on. It's the middle of the day on a Tuesday, nothing going on in the city, so there should have been a taxi. My new plan is to hit up a taxi stand. There's a bunch of them throughout the city, and there's one not too far from here. But to be honest, I think this might become a different video. The walk over to the Castro gives us some time to talk about the intangibles category. This is the je ne sais quoi, the it's my video and I'll do what I want to, and if you don't agree with my score, I sincerely would like to see your video. Anyway, this is the surprise and delight category. Anything that doesn't fit into the obvious goes here. Right there is a taxi stand, but no taxis. So taxis are disqualified. However, there are some great things about taxis that none of these other options have, and I'll talk about them later. But don't let that get you down. We've got a new contender. And this one might be my favorite. All told, I just spent about 50 minutes trying to get a taxi. I tried to get another one on the way back over here and no dice. Honestly, I am super disappointed. I thought taxis were gonna be a dark horse contender in this, but they've really let me down. I'm saving our new contender for last. Let's try Uber. Much cheaper than Lyft right now. And I'm a Lyft Pink member because I take these bike share bikes all over the place. Uber is only cheaper right now because of this promo. Time starts now. Now let me assure you this is not an ad for Uber. This video is sponsored by no one but me. So hit subscribe. That said, my Uber will be here in 1 minute. It's been 46 seconds. Huh. Wonder what that means. Yes, sir. How are you? The Uber ride was perfectly fine. The car was stocked with cool stuff, and my driver was nice as can be. He encouraged me to film as much as I wanted. We drove past my old office building, a taxi, and lots of Waymos. Waymos everywhere. And check out all these staples. Plus, we took the most direct route there. Quick jump onto the highway, then views of the Bay Bridge, a bunch of art, and of course, the Embarcadero. All right. Thank you so much. You too. I would 25 minutes and 25 seconds. That was great. My ride was great. My driver was great. That worked out perfectly. We'll go through the full ranking a bit later, but for now, we gotta head back up to Dolores Park. And one of the best ways to do that is to take BART.
Is that how you would describe it? No.
Let's try Waymo. Looks like this is going to be a little bit more expensive. Time starts right now. Not bad. Looks like it's only 3 minutes until it gets here. I do have to go over there. While we wait, let's talk about scoring for a sec. I'm going to use the Olympic 4 points for gold, 2 for silver, 1 for bronze method. My initial scores for Uber: gold for cost, thanks to that promo; gold for time, thanks to my excellent driver; silver for comfort; and bronze for intangibles. It's an Uber. You know what you're getting. Unless, of course, it goes horribly wrong. For now, Uber gets a score of 11, though that will probably change. That's the golden fire hydrant. Apparently the Waymo wants to pick me up right here, 2 minutes away. That is my car. Wonder where that goes. Oh, this is not going well so far.
Hi, Adam. For any questions, press the call support button to speak with a rider support agent.
Easily the craziest part about this is that it works. I mean, here's the wheel turning all by itself. I mean, that's unbelievable. One thing you may notice is that people on the street stare and probably don't like you. There are cameras absolutely everywhere in this car. One thing that's interesting is the feeling of being in a car like this. There's no driver, obviously, so it kind of feels like I'm in my own car, but I don't have to drive it. It's kind of nice. Of Uber, Lyft, a taxi, and Waymo, Waymo was the most expensive, despite not having to pay the drivers. Wonder where that money's going. One thing that's interesting about Waymos is they leave no space between them and the car in front of it. Stop lights, stop signs, they get right up in there. This is kind of cool. You can see what the car sees. All the cars parked on the road, the cars next to us, the cars in front of us, pedestrians. Shows you everything that they're seeing. About to run this yellow light. Close enough. Looks like we got a friend right in front of us. Are we gonna give him any space? Well, that is kind of bizarre. When a Waymo stops behind another Waymo, it gives them plenty of space. I think this ride is taking a little longer than my Uber ride. One disadvantage of Waymos is they're not allowed to go on the highways. On my Uber ride here, we took the highway that is directly above us right now. Now, what can taxis do that Ubers and Waymos can't? Drive on these red transit-only lanes, and that can make a big difference when there's traffic. I mean, if that's not San Francisco for you, I don't know what is. This is interesting. We're stopped behind a Tesla Model S and we gave them plenty of room. Maybe Waymos only give room to nice cars? Yeah, sure they are. Including the one I'm in right now, there are 4 Waymos in view. One thing probably anyone who visits San Francisco will notice is that these things are everywhere. At this point, I think I can say I've learned a few things definitively. Waymo's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more expensive, at least right now, but you get the whole car to yourself. And for some people that might be worth it. For now, every single one of them is a Jaguar, which is kind of cool too. But at least for Ubers and Waymos, it's the intangibles that separate them. I got a new theory. Maybe they heard me talking because we're now behind a Camry and they've got plenty of room too. This truck wants to merge into our lane, but our Waymo doesn't want to let it. I guess that's some good defensive driving. We are taking what I would call an indirect route to get there. Oh, wow. Waymo maybe just taking me past this view? This is not my first Waymo ride. In fact, it's far from it. And aside from running yellow and red lights, I think the biggest issues they have are pickup and drop off. This is exciting. We are about to drag race another Waymo. Now, if this was an Uber, it would just drop me off right here. Perfect place to let me out. There's a spot right there. We don't like it. There's a spot. We don't like it. Cones. The enemy.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
This is not a good place to stop. $32.39, not great. Waymo takes longer and costs more than Uber, for now. But it's definitely more comfortable and more interesting. But we've got one more contender, our dark horse, public transportation. We're at the point in the day where traffic can become an issue. Hopefully that's not a problem now. That stop right over there is where I need to go, and it will tell me when the next train is coming. I'm taking the J, the light rail. That gets me pretty much to the ferry building. However, I don't want to stack the results at all, so I'm just gonna hit start and hope we've got one coming soon. 2 minutes. 1 minute. What fortune. This was by far the cheapest option I took all day, and that includes the BART ride back to the park. In a previous video, I said that BART is basically free, but do not make that mistake on Muni. These are different systems run by different organizations. Time can be a weak point. If I'd missed this train, the next one doesn't come for 14 minutes, but I got really lucky. We might have a shot at beating my Uber time. Unfortunately, rush hour traffic has already started, so we're gonna have to hustle on the other end. And while the light rail doesn't move nearly as fast as BART, it sure does go a lot more places. At this point, it looks like the final ranking is going to come down to time. We're almost at the Embarcadero station, and my phone is telling me it's a 5-minute walk to the ferry building. "21 minutes means I have 4 minutes to break the Uber record. Almost went the wrong way. 21:50. Gonna be closer than I thought. The ferry building is right down there. Don't want to get hit by a car. Gonna risk it. That is just not the video I thought I was going to make today. I thought this was going to be all about how taxis and Ubers and Waymos are just as good as one another. They may have slight differences, and some of those slight differences might make one better for you. But in the end, they'll all get the job done. But what I actually found out is something that I already know, and that's that public transit can be just as good as private. And sure, public transit is not the answer for everyone all the time. Public transit costs less, a lot less. And the transit time is super reasonable. Comfort is not bad, but clearly the worst of the three. And the intangibles? For me, worse than Waymo, but better than Uber. Final scores, Transit 9, Uber 9, and Waymo 10. Closer to a three-way tie than I ever imagined. If you like this video, I made this one, which is just like it. Hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.